Hi there. Welcome back to my channel. Continuing with my knee replacement series. So, I realized that in my last preparing for knee replacement video that I kind of didn't cover all of the details that I should have in that preparation. So I'm just going to continue on with, I had recorded a part 2, but then felt like I sort of jumped forward too fast without giving all of the details that I should have in part 1. So I'm going to sort of incorporate the part 2 that I had filmed in with this video. So you'll see I'll insert another video with me in different clothing and whatever, and in that I'll be talking about some of the equipment that I purchased that was required to be purchased for surgery, um, for recovery, I should say. So essentially, I had gone over the fact that went to pre-rehab classes, and those classes were, as I said in my last video, were a lifesaver. What I thought I knew, that those classes sort of set everything into perspective and gave me a sense of, okay, I need to start looking at things a bit differently. So we went through that. It went through what to expect before surgery, the equipment that was required, the exercises that are required prior to surgery, and those had to be done um, right up until the day of surgery, multiple times a day. So everything was given to us. The class was about 3 hours long. Went through what to expect on the day of the hospital, what to expect after release. So it really, really prepared you for what you were going to encounter. Also, we went to a pre-anesthetic clinic, and that it really, you have to go through that with any surgery that you have to have, and they're essentially they're reviewing all your current medications, taking tests to see if your body is capable really of handling the surgery that you're going to, if there's any red flags that need to be dealt with prior to your surgery date. So in that appointment, met with the anesthesiologist, reviewed the protocol that we'll be using for surgery, medications, and so on. Now, one thing that my surgeon had said is, if you're a heavier patient, you're at a higher risk for infection after operation. So that's something that anyone that is heavier might want to bear in mind. For me, my experience was with my pre-tests. They identified that I had low potassium. So my potassium was low to the point where, after reviewing my medications, the doctor, the anesthesiologist, suggested that I stop taking my blood pressure meds because he felt that that was aiding in me losing potassium, because that medication makes you pee a lot. So he said, stop taking this medication, eat bananas every day. Banana. He goes, we need to get your potassium up, because potassium is required for helping you heal, right? So being already at a risk for an increased risk for infection, the last thing I really needed to do was to go in with low potassium. So aside from that, anomaly, he reviewed my medication. There's certain medication that I was taking that had to be stopped at a certain point before surgery. And then there were other medications that could be taken right up to the morning of surgery. So that is a very, very important appointment. You don't want to skip that appointment. Okay, because if you're on existing medication, you need to know how that medication is going to impact your surgery. So that essentially was part of the the entire scope of the prep from the medical perspective. Other than that, it was your prep. You know, the rehab clinic told you what you needed that was going to help to make your recovery successful. Yeah, whatever it is that you think, um, sort of open your mind and think of yourself in a position really not, and it's not that, because you think, oh, it's just my knee, the rest of my body is fine, I'll be able to, but you've got to realize that when you move, you're you somehow move your knee. When you move your body, you somehow do. So you have to stay diligent, because you've got to be careful that you don't twist that knee in any way while it's recovering. So that's what all these aids are for. Really, it's to ensure that you don't twist or move that knee in the wrong way that may cause you harm or slow your recovery. So one piece of advice I'd have to give is that really consider all the equipment that may be suggested for you to use during your recovery. And I'm going to insert a clip here of some of the equipment that I purchased. It was on the list, and I purchased for my recovery. And as well, just my advice is have patience, because on these appointments that you have to go to before, take time. And my pre-anesthetic appointment was such a bore, and I just waited and waited and waited. And I just took a short clip of myself just in there waiting, waiting, waiting. And this is it. You just have to do these things. They're necessary. Don't skip them. Because otherwise, it will impact, your progress into surgery, your progress through surgery, your recovery after surgery. So do them, whatever the doctor says, whatever they suggest that you do. Really look into it. Equipment, look into it. Decide for yourself, what you may need. All right.
The blue descent into the sun with Sunwing's Blue Monday Buster Sale. Vacation better and save up to 35%. Book by January 24th at sunwing.ca.
Whether you spend thousands of hours counseling at-risk teenagers,
Waiting, waiting, and
or just
waiting.
10 minutes talking with yours,
Sort of go through some of the equipment that I purchased to help me through surgery. Some of the things that were required and suggested by the hospital as well. So we have cane. Um, sorry. We have, I got crutches. I wasn't sure if it was going to be easier for me to transition from um, the walker to a cane, or from a walker to crutches. So I got crutches, and I had cane. So that was one thing. This little thing here was suggested by the hospital and was a very smart suggestion. It's a reacher to help you grab hold of things, reach things when you're maybe sitting in bed or what have you. That was so helpful. Um, it reduced the amount of times that I had to call people and ask them to get stuff for me. Um, Also, put your shoes on. You're not going to believe it is going to be very difficult to put your shoes on. So, I had actually had this from before, never used it, but it definitely came in handy after the surgery. For showering, I purchased a shower bench. This was very, very helpful. Of course, there's things that you have to think about. After surgery, you're not allowed to get your incision wet for a certain amount of time. So, and then when you're able to fully shower, you know, standing is probably one of the worst things for that operated knee. Some things that I installed in my washroom, and this is one of them. Helping handle. I installed a couple of these in my washroom because you're going to need to hold on. You do not want to fall in the washroom. The only thing I don't have right here to show is my cane. Well, insert pictures of me with my cane. My walker, I'll insert a picture of the walker, the recommended walker from the nursing home. I initially had a walker that had 4 wheels. When I went to my pre-rehab clinic where I got this and was given all the necessary details for preparing for surgery, of course I was informed that 4-wheeled walker is no good. So 2-wheeled walker was preferred, and that's what I got. So I'll insert a picture of that. I also purchased furniture risers. Furniture risers look like something like this. This is just one. There's 4 of this size, plus I have 4 larger ones. And what they, of course, will do will raise your furniture up. It's a one thing that they recommend as well, because in the first little bit, when you're trying to walk around and sit in chairs and whatnot, your knee cannot bend, right? So, and if you try to bend it, it is extremely painful. So you're not going to be able to sit in any low seats. So if you have a high chair, you're going to need to make one. And that's what I did. So my bedroom, I have a chair in my bedroom, actually the one I'm sitting on right now. And I originally had it raised up with these furniture risers so that I could comfortably move from the bed to the chair, because you know you don't want to sit in the bed all day after a certain while. A toilet riser. I purchased one of those. I have it in my downstairs washroom because I actually needed it in the downstairs washroom more than upstairs washroom, because the toilet in my upstairs washroom is higher, and I thought, okay, you know, I think I can navigate this one a little bit easier in terms of sitting on it, but the one downstairs was a much lower toilet, so my toilet riser, you know, and that's all you really need to look for is a toilet riser. And they have different ones. There's ones with handles. There's the one I bought didn't have a handle. It's just you put it on there and away you go. So the toilet riser is something that you're going to need, because again, it's the same concept as the chair riser. Your knee is not going to bend, right, to get down there. Or you will try to bend it and it'll be extremely, extremely painful, because it wouldn't have sort of developed that flexibility yet. It takes time to develop that. And then there are just things that I got to help make my space comfortable. I got this bed caddy kind of thing, and all it is, it just folds over and it goes right down into the side of my bed frame, and it just hangs there. And I put my phone, you know, I have a couple converters, you know, I put those in there so that they're right there beside me and they don't travel too far or fall off the beds on the other side so that I couldn't find them. So this was just another purchase. I also purchased a little table that I have my side tables in my bedroom, but I figured that purchasing another little table, which would allow me to, when my kids brought my meals or what have you, my meals could sit on that table, my drinks could sit on that table. Sometimes they would put fruit, food, or whatever, snacks, and they would all just sit on that little table, and I would just have stuff to munch on throughout the day. And that one looked a little like this. This is it. And it just sat beside my bed. And as I said, they would bring my, I'm just using it right now to put my camera on. But yeah, it would just sit there beside my bed, and they would pick my stuff up, put it on, and, you know, everything. And my side table was sort of just left as is for my medications to go on and whatnot. So that's a part of what they said, preparing your space. And then it's just, looking at what I had around, and in um, my chest of drawers, I just moved that down a little bit so that I'd have space to walk through with my walker. And that was really the only prep I had to do in my room, because I didn't really have preparing my chair, making sure my chair was in a position that I could easily get to it without much obstruction, and just making sure that my walker could get in and out and around to the chair without anything obstructing it. So you need to think about those things before. You don't want to have the day of surgery come, and you can't navigate your walker, and you're just bumping into everything, and and maybe causing yourself harm. The last thing you want to do is to twist or um, do anything that causes the knee to twist on you. Very, very painful. Um, so yeah, that was a big part of the preparation, is, the equipment, have a list. And in our preparation book, and I'm really hoping that for anyone that is going through this, that their hospital really does sort of go through go through all of these with them, and provide them with a prep list of things that they need to purchase, because you're not going to really think about all of these things beforehand. So I really, really appreciated that. And, if you're going through it and you're not given like a handy booklet like this, maybe it's something that I would suggest that you sit with your either your surgeon or the secretary, the receptionist, whomever, and just say, what do I need? What do I need to prepare? Is there a list of things that you suggest, to help you to make sure that you're prepared? We had the checklist of what to bring the day before surgery. So that you have all of that put together the day before surgery, so you're prepared on the day of surgery. So yeah, we had the whole list here, two-wheeled walk of what to purchase or rent in terms of equipment. Told us what of the equipment, because that equipment they're telling us to purchase, we actually had to bring to the hospital as well too. So we were told our two-wheeled walker, four-wheeled walkers are not permitted. Comfortable and loose-fitting clothing, non-slip running shoes, long-handled reacher, long shoehorn. So all of those things I told you, put on your shoes, your reacher, and we had to label all our belongings. Equipment for home, the equipment below is recommended. Raised toilet seat, long-handled reacher, long-handled shoehorn, sock aid. Now, sock aid, I thought, I'm not gonna need a sock aid. I need to put on my sock. I'll put on my sock. It's harder to put on the shoe. I don't know how I came to that conclusion. But yeah, I couldn't put on my socks. Good thing I had people to do that for me. So if you're by yourself, get the sock aid. It helps you to put on your socks. Long-handled sponge, that was for bathing. non-slip bath mat to put in the bathtub, elastic shoe laces or slip-on shoes because you're not going to be able to tie your shoes. Bathing, use a shower chair for a walk-in shower. So the shower chair that I showed you. So having, your list of equipment, ensuring that you purchase those and that you're prepared with those prior is very, very, very important because you are going to need some of those items for your hospital stay as well.